Eros, everything you believe to be true about women was created with your weakness in mind. From films to music to the guidance your mother gave you, the world has created an idea that love must be gained through hard work. Despite what your mother gave you, that allegiance is ensured by commitment, and the more you offer, the more she will adore you in return. However, once you confront the truth, it is quieter, darker, and much more liberating. Fairness and passion are not the foundation of relationships. They are based on psychology. And the man who doesn't comprehend it will be emotionally drained throughout his life by the very individuals he makes every effort to win over. Serving others teaches men how to love. We gauge our value by the amount of time, care, and protection we are able to provide. We consider sacrifice to be evidence of love. However, women refrain from making sacrifices. They succumb to power. The instant a man starts, he's already lost the frame trying to negotiate his worth. Because the female mind interprets effort as availability, and availability eliminates mystery. When a man provides too much too soon, he becomes predictable. Furthermore, it is impossible to want what is foreseeable. Uncertainty feeds desire. She also loses respect for you the more you try to win her. Strong men create a life so rewarding that women want to be a part of it, rather than trying to make them happy. They don't ask for help, they use their presence to command it. Being present doesn't sound loud, it's quiet assurance. It's the energy of a man who feels strong without needing approval. He might go at any time and still be content. And because it flips the typical power balance, that silent detachment drives women insane. You are no longer seeking her approval, she's pursuing yours. This is the paradox that most guys are unable to understand. A woman will begin to circle away from you if you make her the center of your universe. She will orbit closer to you if you continue to be the center of your own universe. That isn't conceit. Gravity is the cause. Men who are calm, collected, and unaffected by emotion tend to attract women. A guy has not yet mastered himself if he responds to every emotion, disagreement, and challenge. Furthermore, no woman can ever genuinely respect you until you have mastered yourself. Women put you to the test to see whether you are truly strong, not to ruin you. They must understand that your confidence is resilient to their storms and is not just a masquerade. She doesn't always look for reason when she debates. She wants to know that your masculinity isn't brittle. If you give in to emotional pressure, you validate her greatest fear, which you should never give in to. Thus, maintain your composure while she pushes. Don't defend yourself when she accuses. Make it clear. Don't pursue her when she retreats. Take note, strong men deal with women in this way. Instead of using violence, use restrained energy. You don't confront her, she is out-centered by you. The majority of guys confuse intense emotions with love. They become addicted to emotional instability because they mistake chaos for connection and drama for passion. However, mature men recognize that love devoid of respect is nothing more than covert manipulation. Everything depends on how much a woman respects you, her attraction, her loyalty, and her tone. She will instinctively start testing your backbone till it fractures as soon as she perceives any weakness. She seeks strength because it is in her nature, not because she is a bad person. Similar to how a tree bends in the direction of sunshine, the energy of a woman leans in the direction of masculine assurance. You have to become that assurance, and it starts with a single insight. It's sufficient to have her approval. When you stop using her attention to negotiate your value, you get access to a power that most men will never experience in their lifetime. You begin to view women as mirrors and reflections that reveal how well you understand yourself, rather than as enemies or saviors. She's demonstrating your inadequacy when you have excessive cravings for her. She is demonstrating your development when you are at ease with or without her. Every powerful man finally discovers this secret. You conquer yourself, not women, and everything changes after you do. Believing that love is sufficient is the biggest error a man can make. It isn't. When love lacks strength, it becomes capitulation. Furthermore, Eros, servitude under the pretext of romanticism, soon becomes contempt. Feelings are like the weather, so you can't maintain a connection with them alone. Every day they alter. Polarity is what keeps everything together. That electrifying conflict between feminine vitality and male solidity. You destroy that polarity and the relationship along with it when you give in to emotional reliance. The majority of males have never been instructed on how to maintain equilibrium in a partnership. Keeping your identity intact despite any emotional upheaval she may cause is known as holding frame. It's awareness, not stubbornness. You pay attention to her feelings, but you avoid becoming overwhelmed by them. You don't internalize, but you do empathize. You comprehend her emotions while remaining grounded in reason. And a woman's trust is earned through that balance. She secretly doesn't desire a boyfriend who shares all of her emotions. She is looking for a man that can support her through her emotions. Eros instead of your sympathy. She wants your stability. You'll see that you get less respect the more emotionally reactive you are. Women and the rest of the world automatically follow men who remain composed under pressure. To be powerful, you don't need to speak up. Power doesn't say anything. When she anticipates chaos, it's in your poise. When she anticipates terror, it's in your forbearance. She recognizes that you are different from the others at that point. You stand out at that point. Respect cannot be gained by unnecessary explanations. It's built through behavior. You train her each time you establish a limit and uphold it amicably. To honor you each time you overstate, defend or beg for her validation. You teach her to have doubts about you. Since words are inexpensive, consistency is hard to come by. Additionally, a rare man is always worth more than a desperate one. Don't react when she tries to make you feel envious. Grin, don't beg when she stops showing you affection. Keep the same distance from her. Don't defend yourself when she harshly criticizes you. Calmly observe, then decide how to react. You're not engaging in gaming. You're speaking in a language that ladies can truly comprehend. Consistency, tone, and vigor. More than she hears what you say, she senses who you are. And every powerful man eventually discovers this reality. A man who treats women flawlessly doesn't make women fall in love. When a man makes them feel something they can't control, they fall in love with him. However, that emotion needs to originate from your grounded energy rather than turmoil. You establish emotional safety when you are unwavering, and desire is bred by emotional safety. She dreams about you after the breakup because of this. She sensed your absence in every other man she encountered, not because you were flawless. Don't make an effort to demonstrate your goodness. Be one in a peaceful, steady, and effortless manner. Avoid seeking approval, attention, or assurance. Create a life that organically demands it. When you fill your days with purpose, your work, your body, your craft, your vision, you stop orbiting around women. You become the sun in your own sky, and everything else starts revolving around you. A woman's affection is not a reward for your devotion. It's a reflection of your energy. If she doesn't respect you, it's not because she's cruel. It's because you stopped embodying what she once admired. You became soft in your convictions. You traded discipline for comfort. You thought love meant surrender instead of leadership. Women don't want to lead. They want to feel safe with a man who can. And that's where most modern men fail. They're addicted to female validation. They think being chosen by a woman means they've conquered the world or they have arrived. She is not under your authority. Your energy is under your control. You don't ask for her allegiance. It is inspired by you. You don't worry about losing her. You worry about losing your morality. That's what sets the strong apart from the weak. At the end of the day, if you are no longer dependent on a woman's approval, you cannot be used by her. You become unpredictable the instant you stop requiring her on an emotional level. Furthermore, strength comes from unpredictability. You're not dancing to get her attention anymore. The entire exchange is being led by you. That is what, in the finest sense of the word, makes a man dangerous. He has emotional freedom. The majority of men believe that strength is about dominating, while true strength is about self-control. The instant you encounter opposition, your dominance wanes. Even in the face of adversity, discipline survives. And when interacting with women, that is more important than anywhere else. You can't win by controlling her feelings. By mastering your own, you succeed. Because you give your mind the remote when you can't manage your emotions. You become hungry rather than noble, desperate rather than intentional, and reactive rather than responsive. Modern man has been indoctrinated to constantly pursue, appease, and prove himself. The smart guy, however, has discovered the opposite. You become powerful when you exercise restraint. The whole dynamic changes when you begin to represent your value, instead of just explaining it. She senses it. Your words are drowned out by your silence. Your absence starts to weigh more than your presence did. You become the man whose one-sentence messages compel attention, instead of the man who writes chapters in an attempt to be understood. Because you have greater gravity, the more self-control you acquire. Manly magnetism is emotional self-control. She is captivated by something other than what you say. It's the sensation that you don't have to speak at all. Recognize this. Women are emotional beings. They rely on emotion to survive. That isn't criticism, it's biology. It defies logic that they are attracted to each other. It is visceral. It is impossible to persuade a lady to love or respect you. she maneuvers into both. So embody instead of trying to persuade. The strongest guys don't question their worth. They exude it, and inner tranquility is the only source of that energy. Pain is the foundation of inner tranquility. Every rejection, every manipulation, every heartache. Those are not penalties. They are undergoing training. The woman who made fun of you, the one who ghosted you, and the one who exploited your generosity were all instructors sent to highlight your flaws. You change the instant you stop viewing yourself as a victim and begin to recognize the lesson. You develop emotional resilience. When a woman pulls away, you stop crumbling because you understand that your value was never dependent on her presence in the first place. This is something that males don't discuss enough. Avoiding women does not make you stronger. Learning to handle them without losing yourself makes you stronger. The monastic way of complete seclusion may preserve your tranquility, but it does not increase your strength. In interaction, true strength is put to the test. The ability to remain composed in the face of turmoil, beauty, and temptation. You've mastered yourself at that point. That serenity is palpable to women. They are able to detect whether a man is immobile on the inside. That's what attracts them. It's your stillness, not your appearance or wealth. Because a woman who is in control of a man cannot genuinely connect with him. She must sense your boundaries, your strength, and your edges. She isn't trying to ruin you if she is testing you. You're being measured. Eros' strength cannot be faked. The only ways to cultivate it are via solitude, purpose, and learning to control your impulses. You become resistant to manipulation when you are able to sit by yourself in silence and feel whole, because he no longer worries about being abandoned. A man who can enjoy his own company is impenetrable. He's complete already. He is unique because of this. He is valuable because of this. This is the reality that nobody wants to acknowledge. The majority of males don't date because they adore women. They are there because they are afraid of being by themselves. More than connection, they yearn for emotional refuge. They are utilized because of this. When a man is with her, a woman can sense fear rather than freedom. She also loses respect for him when she senses that dependence. It's not cruel, it's a gut feeling. Instead of the man who needs her, she is programmed to admire the one who chooses her. The distinction is crucial. A free man can leave because he won't compromise his self-respect, not because he doesn't care. A weak man stays, shrinking to keep her from leaving while apologizing for things he didn't do. And since you can't develop attraction out of sympathy, she always departs. A man who is independent of her is never in need of her approval. She gives it precisely for that reason, because control does not appeal to women. They are drawn to certainty. They want to perceive your stability as something that remains stationary despite their movements. Akin to gravity, men stop performing, which is why most relationships end. They cease to be the people they were prior to her. They give up on their vision, mission, and purpose, believing that love entails becoming one person. However, love does not entail self-destruction. It entails remaining so firmly rooted in your identity that she feels comfortable blossoming in your presence. You lose your polarity when you lose sight of your purpose. Additionally, you become her emotional twin rather than her masculine counterpart when you lose polarity. She is not interested in becoming someone else. She is looking for a man to admire. You create a paradox the instant you begin to do everything in your power to make her happy. She becomes less happy because a man who obeys does not bring happiness. It originates from a man who takes the lead. Dominance is not the same as leadership. It's the direction. It's the subdued authority of a man who knows his destination and extends an invitation for her to accompany him. She doesn't oppose that course because she wants to be in charge. It is because she wants to believe that your vision is powerful enough to overcome her skepticism. That's what fosters trust. Give up using words to persuade women. Use motion to demonstrate them. Do what you say you'll do. When you make a commitment to discipline, follow through. Be consistent when you claim to be different from other men. Poetry does not open a woman's heart. Patterns open it. Observing that regardless of what occurs, you stay the same man and calm. Do you know what attracts women the most? A man with guidance. You maintain your composure when she's feeling overwhelmed. You maintain your composure when she's upset. You avoid her when she's perplexed. She trusts your energy because of this. She relaxes into her femininity because of this. With a man who is emotionally unstable, she cannot accomplish that. And everything changes when you eventually figure out how to remain composed in the face of chaos. You understand that you never owned her in the first place, so you are no longer afraid of losing her. You just had an encounter with her. You can only genuinely possess yourself, your tranquility, your thoughts, and your concentration in this life. That is the source of true masculine power. It has nothing to do with outwitting women. It is about becoming so proficient that their games no longer have an impact on you. You begin to win with women when you give up trying to win them because your power is no longer reactive. This Eros possesses magnetic properties. Your tone, your presence, and your eyes all convey it to her. You're too preoccupied with building your empire to pursue her approval. You're too preoccupied with maintaining your discipline to let emotional turmoil divert you. At that point, she starts to feel attracted to you once more. You become scarce not because you're trying. Value is created by scarcity. Your attention becomes more valuable the less emotionally open you are to the noise. It carries weight when you focus on certain things, not just with women, but in any setting. That kind of energy is respected. The man in charge of his focus has the power to bend the world. When a man discovers his true self, he becomes untouchable, not because he's flawless, but rather because he no longer needs the approval that used to control him. He has come to the realization that attraction is not something you beg for, so he no longer pursues women. It's something you develop into. He doesn't perform, prove, or argue. He simply lives in such harmony with his principles that everything undeserving just naturally disappears. The secret is that most men don't live long enough to acquire knowledge. The right people will be able to see you once you give up trying to win women over. She's not meant to finish you. She's meant to give you a compliment. However, there is nothing to praise if you haven't built yourself. You can't expect a woman to value what you haven't yet developed. Be devoted to your mission if you want loyalty. Live a life deserving of respect if you want it. The true struggle of every man is not with women. With his own reflection, that is. The weak man sees everything he isn't when he looks in the mirror. The strong man sees all of his potential when he looks in the mirror. This is where wisdom comes into play. Men do not destroy women. Men unknowingly destroy themselves by ignoring what they know deep in their intuition. You can sense when a woman is using you. You rationalize your feelings of wrongdoing to avoid losing her. That is not love. That's self-betrayal. Breaking your own boundaries in the hopes of appreciating your sacrifice can lead to loss of respect. She understands that a man who is unwilling to defend himself cannot protect her. When you prioritize self-respect, your entire life becomes more balanced. You stop engaging in mixed signals, emotional manipulation, and inconsistent behavior. You no longer need someone else's explanation to find peace, so you stop seeking closure. You begin to prioritize solitude, calm over chaos, and truth over comfort. You become a man who accepts pain as a necessary part of growth, rather than avoiding it. You're not afraid to lose anyone because you've discovered yourself. Women react differently when they feel a sense of groundedness. They perceive your stillness as an anchor. They understand you don't need them, but you value them. The distinction alters everything. A man without need is magnetic. It is uncommon to find a man who generously gives without expecting anything back. Begin walking like a king, choosing alignment rather than seeking validation. You don't ask her if she loves you. You observe how she handles your peace. A woman who truly loves you will preserve your peace, not disrupt it. Avoid trying to impress women. Impress yourself. Create a purposeful life that will either attract her or drive her away. Either outcome is fine. As you advance, you'll require fewer personnel. The right woman will not drain you. She will multiply you. You'll recognize her by the way she makes you feel, not by her appearance. Maintain calm and avoid chaos. Until then, continue to build. Keep sharpening. Continue to become. The ability to control one's emotions leads to greater success in life. Do not be afraid of being misunderstood. Fear of becoming forgettable. Do not chase her energy. Be the source of it. This is when life turns in your favor. Women stop testing and begin to trust. It's when you realize you weren't meant to pursue love. You were meant to embody it. If you received this message, it means you are not like most men. You are awake now. You recognize patterns for what they are. Maintain high standards, dedicated energy, and unwavering focus. When you master yourself, the world, including women, will naturally align with your peace. If this resonates with you, brother, please like, share, and subscribe. The world needs more strong, grounded, and self-aware men. Remember, a self-aware individual does not seek understanding. He lives truthfully and lets everything else fall into place. Epistles to Eros.